Lynn Adams. This is his icebreaker. We're excited to hear it. The title is Marilla, Michelle, and My Mistress. The fateful day the women I love all came together. Welcome, Lynn Adams.
Thank you, Ms. Toastmaster. My name is Lynn Adams. It's my icebreaker. I thought I'd introduce myself to you all. My life and story is full of love, despair, and ultimate triumph. I was born in a little town called Elmo, Utah. It's a town of 300 people. There were no stoplights in my entire county. I had no paved roads in my town, no sidewalks in my town. Very small and quaint. My father, Jack, was a coal miner, was a wonderful, loving father, and a great provider. And then there was my mom, Marilla, the first woman I love in my life. She is to be a giant of a person. She is one of those people that is full of energy at all times and has this extraordinary amount of energy. She's kind and loving, full of life, full of fun, full of mischief. And she has a lot of talents and abilities. She was the president and founder of the local softball and volleyball leagues in my county. But she was also the founder and director of the local beauty pageant, the largest one in our area. So she had sports, she had beauty. She was an entrepreneur and a very keen businesswoman and also a very keen politician. But she was always the life of the party. Always the first one to play a practical joke. To me, she was larger than life. She was always the first one to push you and encourage you to jump, but always the first one to pull you up and dust you off and give you a kiss if you fell. She was the center of my universe, and she seemed to always have one foot in heaven and one foot in hell. It's just the way she was. When I was 16, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And at the age of 47, she was given 4 to 6 months to live. It was devastating to me, and my world was tipped upside down. But with her extraordinary optimism, faith, and courage, she fought, and she fought, and she fought. I continued on. I went on to graduate high school. I went on an LDS mission. I went to BYU, graduated from BYU. And while I was at BYU, I found 2 wonderful friends, Corey and Brian. We hiked together, we backpacked together, we were camping all over the place, and we just had a wonderful time together. Graduated BYU, I moved on, and I worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers doing accounting. Then I decided to follow my mom and become an entrepreneur. I started my own company, and since then I've been involved in entrepreneurship. And I've continued to have Brian and Corey as my friends. But the problem was we were having tons of fun, but none of us were getting married. So we started approaching that age of 30, getting concerned, and we thought we needed to make some changes in our lives. So we decided we needed the next best thing to a wife, a mistress. So where do you think I went to find this mistress? Shopping. And I found her one day in this store. There she was sleek and sexy. She had sensual curves and seductive lines. And I took her home that day. We went up the canyon, and I was going up the canyon. I had broken a sweat. She had taken my breath away. And that day I fell in love with my bike. Brian, Corey, and all bought bikes, and we road biked all across the western United States. It was our way to stay fit and trim so it looked good for the ladies, but also our way to give us something to do so we didn't remember that we were approaching that dreadful age of being single, 30-year-old LDS guys. So we rode, and we rode, and we rode. Then I came across a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl. She was fun, she was spunky, full of life. She taught high school in Sandy. And I thought to myself, this is the type of girl I want. So I got the courage up, I asked her out. We went on our first date, went up to Heber, and I took her to the Spicy Lady, because I always wanted a Spicy Lady, so I figured if I took her there, maybe she'd be that Spicy Lady in my life. So we ate at the Spicy Lady, and then later that night, on our first date, we kissed, and we kissed, and we kissed. So now, 2 months ago today, February 13th, I wake up, I'm in St. George, Utah. Hurry and put on my biking clothes, I run out the door, and I go and I meet Corey and Brian. We all ride our mistresses up to the top of Snow Canyon and back, a short little ride of about 30 miles. I run back to the place that I was staying that day. I hurried and I got dressed, and I got dressed in my suit and tie. I hurried and went to the place that I was to get married. And there was my mom. I met her there, in her wheelchair, with her portable oxygen, still fighting. And there was Corey and Brian. Poor guys, still only with their mistresses. And there was me with my beautiful wife, Michelle. We got married that day. And I looked back later that evening, I was looking back thinking how life can sometimes throw you things, curveballs, that you may not know how you're going to handle it. But I saw that day as I was with my wife and my mistress and my mom, that sometimes things just work out. And my wife and I turned to her, and we kissed, and we kissed, and well, that was